good afternoon. This is Prime Rugby on Melody Robinson. Today we're looking at the Springboks hosting the Australians in Johannesburg. As usual, Frank Bunce is with me today. And Frank, plenty of All Blacks playing in the Air New Zealand Cup. How are they shaping up?
I like what I've seen, actually. Good to see Sione Lauaki play 80 minutes and good 80 minutes as well. Stephen Donald again in the Waikato. Jimmy Cowan really solid. Wepu out of position but making a good fist of it. And Anthony Borg. They're all putting in good solid performances. So nice to see that the form's continuing on.
Totally. Now we're previewing, of course, this match, the second one between South Africa and Australia. But the Wallabies win over South Africa last weekend. What did you think?
Good, actually. Really big game for the Wallabies. Obviously gone over there and hadn't won there for so long. A lot of things happening off the field. But really disappointed in what the Springboks put up. And, as we saw, the crowd sort of booed them towards the end. And I think it was a performance really that lacked a lot of commitment and a lot of attitude really from the Springboks. Stuff that we take for granted when watching the Springboks. So pretty disappointed with what they did. The
Wallabies flanker Rocky Elsom, they won his appeal. He was available to play. How important is he for the Australians?
I think he's hugely important. He's a real physical presence, good ball player. And extremely mobile for a big guy, so important to what they want to do, and especially so against big men, that they're obviously playing with the Springboks.
And also Robbie Deansy made 5 changes, like Adam Ashley Cooper, Timana Tahu in at second 5, Phil War, the hooker, and also lock Hugh McMenamin. Most of that was injuries.
Yeah.
What did you think of those changes?
Good changes. All of the guys there are quality players, but as you say, injuries, I think, and going into this game was a big game, and a game that if they won would have put real pressure on the All Blacks going into the next one. But good to see guys, opportunities to start Timana Tahu, an opportunity for him to test himself at probably a higher level and to get a run-on start at Coca-Cola Park. Good for his development and that, but quality players and expected to do the job, I think.
Okay, well, let's go to the first quarter, coming to you from Coca-Cola Park. A dinosaur, but man, the atmosphere's good.
Coca-Cola Park, where renovations are in full swing for Soccer World Cup 2010. It's test match number 10 at this site between the Springboks and Wallabies. We welcome our international viewers and audience watching live online on rugbyzone.com, and of course our local audience. Bryce Lawrence, the referee, who refereed the game in Perth, and some felt was a little stringent on South Africa at the point of breakdown. Matt Giteau prepares to kick off for the Wallabies.
Thanks. Goal.
And so here we go, the final Tri-Nations game for South Africa, the penultimate for the Wallabies. Andries Becker and the beast behind him ready to support. Maybe he'll go down the middle, goes a little bit to the right. Well taken by Becker. All depends on a good start here for both sides. Dupree well positioned. Now, will this wind have an effect? It will swirl around a little bit. Nokwe gave chase. The Wallabies have secured the ball.
Release!
Accordingly, Elsom. This is where you see they've given it over. This is now Wycliffe Palu just securing the ball. Accordingly again, here goes Dunning. It's quite a mobile tight head is Matt Dunning. Good layback by him. Now Tahu, Giteau. And Butch James content just to let it run into touch to make sure that the Springboks have the throw into the line out.
Pause, engage. Go half.
It's more solid. Padu's gone in between the flank and the lock to give Cordini that opportunity. Here goes Tahu. The former Kangaroo Rugby League player. Booted ahead by Butch James offside. And it is a penalty to the Wallabies right in a very, very well. It's right, almost right in front of the post.
It's just absolutely silly. Butch James is standing 2 meters offside. He's hanging around on the scrum half, and now he thinks he can play the ball. South Africa are to come back and win this game and restore some pride. They'll have to be a little bit wiser in the way they go about it.
Yeah.
Since the kickoff, It's been all Australia.
And, you know, remember that the Springboks had possession, Joel. They kick it up in the air. Not a good chase up. And the next thing is Australia just have been in control for 4.5 minutes.
Yeah, it was Peter Hines who climbed high. The kick not far enough. Quite right. To be fair, Australia deserve the points now. They've looked after the ball. They've gone through the phases. They've created an opportunity. And they've taken it.
Gito kicks them into the lead. And the Judges, has that eluded him? No, Conrad Judges can counter here. Can put it high, torpedoes them up in the air, and they become difficult. That's a beautiful torpedo. And Ashley Cooper is there, and Judges was right up. The Beast gets it now. Now with the Ndungani. Becker on his outside. It's Charles Smith who gets. Speaks up in support. Good play by South Africa. Now, as everybody said, they need to keep their patience. James. Judges. Can't get away with Becker's there. Must go over. Becker gets his first try in international rugby. His dad had Henny scored plenty in provincial and internationals. And Andries Becker gets the first try of the match.
And what a try it is. Patient pulled up, some good running, good angles. Conrad Judges managed to just make the step and go, which got the defence to hesitate. Came from his up and under. What an up and under it was. Good reactions from the Beast. And ultimately it was Judges with a little step and go here, which just got the defence in two minds. Becker ran a good angle. And those long legs of him carrying him over the line. Australians look a little bit slow in chasing their kicks. Haven't really gone up and put the South African receivers under much pressure yet. Can only wonder what the altitude's going to do here.
Gito, surely that's a forward pass. Controlled there by Ben Johnson, but the referee picked the forward pass up. Bryce Lawrence, assisted by Lyndon Bryan. Rob Debney from England.
Twice Australia have tried to run or play from deep, and that's certainly a forward pass. Good pressure from Beeston to Arira. And this time the attempt to play from deep is not been rewarding. In fact, it's a very good attacking position for South Africa. Big blind side. Ndungani out on the right. Only one Aussie defending, that's Lottie Takiri.
Touch.
So there is opportunity to the right of the scrum. Will Fareed appear go? No, it's Spies. Would build up a speed, and Gito had to make the tackle. Dupree, Johan Smith. Powerful stuff by South Africa back in the Wallaby 22. And it's a free kick. Now what will Fareed appear do? Look how he digs for the ball. Goes quickly. Has Berg on the outside. Finds De Villiers. Nutweg! Changa Nutweg, almost casually in a way, gets the touchdown. His second in international rugby, and his second here at Coca-Cola Park.
Nokwe will have done the grounding, but a good pull-up. Spiss broke away at pace, immediately over the gain line. Couldn't offload as much as he tried to. Good quick ball eventually, and the tap and go from Fareed Dupree. Good hands again. And Jean de Villiers with a final pass. Quite casual in his grounding, Nokwe, but try number 2 for South Africa. Great vision from Fareed Dupree. Tackles made. South Africa having to make a few more tackles at the moment. Had a bit more of a kicking game.
Well, tackles made just about twice as many at this stage of the game. Up high went Elson, and here goes Johnson. Spies, Pierre Spies! Oh, surely he was going to reach out and score the try.
Well,
Did he lose it?
He reached out.
Palatu now was back as well. Look at almost bewilderment for Pierre Spies there.
Bryce Lawrence is a judge that he lost it for, not even going upstairs. Good step and go, good pace. Oh, he did just just lose it.
Did lose it.
Pelota now got back and assisted Tikiri with a tackle and dislodged the ball.
Well, the factor there is there's a huge plaster on his right arm, and that may have been a factor. I thought he might have just held the ball in one hand and stretched out. Great bit of defence by Lotte Tikiri. Springboks put in great pressure. It's a tight head. Johannesburg Smith! It's comes back for the player. Now this is where the Springboks have all had white line fever. That's surely in from the side.
Go back, son.
Just keep the patience, keep the drive, keep the ball is the main thing.
Come back to the hind feet.
Maybe a dummy and go by Farida Priyado, decides to go outside, Spies again. Springboks trying to force it over. They've got a huge overlap here. Jacobs, Ndungani. Here goes Nakwe again. Jange Nakwe.
Try number 3, try number 2 for Jonge Nokwe. And it's the Springboks who are on fire right now. Could well have scored a minute ago. They have now. And Australia are really not in it.
Matt Giteau, lot to talk about there by the player with the second most caps in the backs, in fact the third most behind Tikiri and Mordrock. Butch James is again not on target. That was an easier kick than the previous conversion.
Sustained pressure from the Springboks, and eventually the defence is wilting. No Australians on the outside, running out of numbers, and South Africa good enough on this occasion to move it through the hands and score the try, and deservedly so. Good strong build-up. Spies nearly scored, almost unlucky to not have scored. Australia just not in it. Defensively not there, and the forwards are huffing already.
Matfield. Help there from Bismarck Duplessis. Duclair. Janches.
Stay now. Thank you.
Ashley Cooper.
10 metres goal. Stay here. Stay one.
It's a bit too far. Janches has options here. Can kick this out. Oh, when he's torpedoed it away, it's a beauty. I must say, Joel, Farida Priya probably getting more go-forward ball, but looking so much sharper than he did last week.
Work the gap.
Well, bear in mind the last couple of weeks he's still really been in the process of coming back from injury. Not too much game time before he got picked back into the test side, and maybe finding that little bit of form now, getting used to the timing, the pace of the game. Australia, the error is mounting.
Yeah, not in straight, so advantage to the Springboks again.
Enjoy the atmosphere.
And that is wind. There's no question. You saw it went in straight and got blown offline.
Flankers bound, please, Australia.
So plenty of action down the left-hand side of the scrum for the Springboks. Edwin Dungani has moved over to the left. Janches hovers in the back line. Springboks hold up the scrum. Duclair, James. Here comes Odo. Well, I thought Dungani was going to get, but it went for De Villiers. Well read by the Wallabies. Now it's Johan Smith. Finds Nakwe. Wallabies close in on the left winger very quickly. Matfield goes in. Referee is going all the way back to
The scrum, offside at the
scrum position. And it is a penalty to South Africa. This an opportunity for James to make it 20.
Well,
Look at Full War.
Full War and Skalkberg are both off.
Offside 9. Shot.
Offside 9. Sam Cordingley, the man who judged him, probably moved away from the scrum before the ball was out. So Butch James has a chance to move the score up to 20, only 29 minutes, almost 30 minutes played. Aside from those first 3 or 4 minutes, it's been all Australia, should I say all South Africa.
Well, on the half hour, will it be Butch James to make it 20 for South Africa? Yes, it will. Much better strike by the most capped fly half in Springbok history. Judges at the moment doing everything, I'm sure, to his coach's satisfaction.
And also today, he's had a great game so far.
And here goes Skalkberger up against Akiri, offload to his great buddy, Johan de Villiers. Duclair, overlap here for South Africa. James must be hat-trick. John Enakwe, the second in South African ever to score a hat-trick against the Wallabies. It was done here in 1961 by Henny van Zyl, and it's at the same site that it is done again.
Butch James with the final pass, realised there was space and numbers out wide, got the ball there as quickly as possible. Try and hat-trick for Nokwe, and bonus point for South Africa. The pride is being restored. Scott Berger, was he capitalised once again on the Australian poor effort at the line-out. And once he got over the gain line, so hard to defend against. James flung it out wide, and Nokwe rounded well.
Well, not the high five that time, but beautifully read by Butch James.
Quite possibly doesn't understand the significance of scoring a hat-trick for South Africa, particularly against Australia.
Well, it's been done twice against the All Blacks by Marius Joubert, but firstly Ray Mort and Henny van Zyl, the only Springbok to ever score a hat-trick, and Butch James is back on song.
Great kick.
Free kick South Africa. Now will Duclair get it going? Pierce does. Skalkberger continues. Big hit there, but Skalkberger bounces off McManaman. Duclair, good pick up by the scrum half. Now Johan Smith finds Butch James. The Wallabies having to make desperate tackles here. Numbers on the outside for the Springboks. Here goes Matfield. Good ball for Chanchas. Becker and Dingani. Bismarck du Plessis holds off Gito for a moment. Holds off Wall.
For a long moment.
Can they recycle? Comes for Johan Smith. Big hit on the Free State flanker. Now it's with the Beast. Crowd love it. Nice and get isolated. Springboks get the ball here. The Aussies could be in trouble. Duclair, de Villiers finds Berger. The two pals working in good harmony here today. De Villiers goes in. Takiri is there. Duclair hovers. Finds Matfield. Eludes the captain. And Dingani's done well. Was that diving on the player on the ground? No, says referee. Duclair. Surely, well, it's stolen and allowed by the referee. Well played by Olsen. Here goes Gito. Just Butch James has to cover, and cover hard. Gito is there. The Springboks are there in enough numbers. Hall trying to get over the top. Now Duclair can clear. The Springboks are regathered. Chances is ready to take the ball. Duclair. Little dab for Jacobs to chase. Full wall. Ashley Cooper. Takiri. Crowd paying for a forward pass. Their numbers there for South Africa. Now Matfield, who has taken his eyes off the ball again. Now he's isolated. Gets it away for Chances. Done well, the fullback. It's Palatu now who was there. All a bit of a scramble now. Is it coming for Corlini? No, it looks like it's coming for Duclair. Hands in, says the referee. Goes quickly for Cordingly. Tahu.
Release 14.
And the referee says that's it. A little bit of a play that South Africa won't want to remember too well. But nonetheless, tries by Becker, 3 by John Genokwe. And so what a transformation in the Springbok side. Perhaps a little complacency with the Wallabies, but 4 tries for South Africa, 27-3. No side who's led has lost in this series.
Welcome back to Prime Rugby. I'm Melody Robinson and I'm joined by Frank Bunce to go through this Tri-Nations match between the Wallabies and the Boks. The first half, well, what happened to Australia? 27-3 to the Boks.
Yeah, so you'd have picked it. Well, they started, I think they held on to the ball and scored the first points and after about 5 minutes, and then pretty much did nothing else the rest of the half. But just a huge improvement from the South African side, and a lot more commitment, a lot more than we saw last week, certainly. Wallabies, really, nothing went right for them, but they were operating under pressure. They didn't really, I don't know that their set piece was probably as solid as it should have been, but I think mainly just operating under pressure from the Boks.
Do you think the Springboks actually implemented the game plan from de Villiers properly this time?
Yeah, probably right there, actually. We still saw them go wide, but we saw them kicking a little bit more accurately. The long kicking from Butch James and the like was good and accurate, and they followed it up. And they did go wide. They're a little bit more accurate, I think, with what they were doing. So, maybe we're seeing them come around to what he wants from them.
Right, let's go to the second half and see if the Wallabies do turn it around. But let me warn you, if you are an Australian, I'd suggest a strong cup of coffee or something.
Stay down, stay down, stay down.
Talu. Good work by Sean Smith. Delson goes in to cover the ball. Now it comes for McManaman. Accordingly, War. Playing up and down virtually the same field position of the Wallabies at the moment. Looks like it might have been turned over. Farida Pierre has a peek. Where can I kick this to? Ashley Cooper, now he's carried it over the 22. Has to do what he did there. Hines hasn't had too many opportunities, and that's one of the worst opportunities he's had. Should I say the worst execution from the opportunities he has had.
South Africa's chase has been very, very good this afternoon, and this was a good steal. This Mark du Plessis, once he gets hands on the ball, is not coming back. Executes the steal, and immediately Farid Dupri chased the ball back up the pitch and put Australia deep. Australia have had no answer to the South African kicking game this afternoon. Ashley Cooper has run it up and kicked a few up and unders.
Untidy ball, Majati had to react quickly, so too Mtuarira. It's been knocked on by the Wallabies. James de Villiers. Now lovely ball for Jacobs. Now what can Eddie Jacobs do? That's what he can do. He becomes the highest try scorer of the season with Bismarck du Plessis.
And oh, so easy. I said before the game, South Africa's threat so far this season has come from Sean de Villiers is straightening and Eddie Jacobs is linking, and it's exactly what we've seen. Sean de Villiers, arms through the tackle, ran hard, straightened well, popped the ball out. Straight he goes, the little pop out, and Eddie Jacobs with lots of pace, good step and go. Hines slipped a little bit because of the step from Jacobs. Try number 5 for South Africa. If it wasn't over before, it is now. Stepping, straightening, getting inside. Gito got across, but the arms were freed, and that is the big asset that John de Villiers has on his side. Tall, big and strong, and frees up the arms.
Well, the most points South Africa have scored against the Wallabies at this site. Remember, Ellis Park, now Coca-Cola Park, is 33. So this to go one ahead of that. Butch James has done the job. 33 in 2002, 33 in 2005. Beast, Duprier. Just dabbed it down the line to Kiri. Finds Horwell. Accordingly, Gitto had to keep it infield. Duprier's read it well. Now he's got Janches on his inside, but he says, I can do this job. To Kiri. Good take by the left winger. Ashley Cooper with him. Nokwe is there. Well, it went over the try scorer's head, but he's recovered well. Now he's up to the test for the kick. It's a nice torpedo. Oh, the crowd will love that. John Nokwe.
Couple of skew throws from Palata now. Immediately the change comes. Stephen Moore replaces him.
Well, a couple of guys who played last Saturday in that emphatic win in Durban, now on the field for Robbie Deans.
And Stephen Moore immediately throws it in skew as well. Mild skew.
Well, that's the third time this afternoon that the Wallabies are guilty of that. And I must say, after one or two little hiccups earlier on, Bismarck du Plessis done pretty well. James again, Janches, little Dadford, and Dungani to chase. Now it's the bounce, Atwan Dungani, history has been made here. John Nokwe goes into the record books. The first South African ever to score 4 tries against the Wallabies, but surely he's not going to be injured in the process. He looks like he's in agony. He cannot celebrate the occasion. This would be dreadful if his ankle's gone.
Well, what a shame. Brilliant little grubber through. Great pickup from Ndingane. Nokwe finished well once the ball was popped inside to him. And he's done himself a harm. Good move here. Butch James came round the corner. Could well have carried it a little bit further. The grubber absolutely perfect from Conrad Janches. Because the ball had gone wide, the fullback had stepped up into the line. No one at the back there. Nokwe scores. Didn't look like he was in too much bother at that point.
Meanwhile, the men in the stronger green and gold are in control of this game. Sheehan, Gitto. Janches. Well, he can torpedo this away. He's got a huge boot on him. If he connects, he's outside his 22. He was outside his 22. And they will go all the way back to the Springbok 22. He struck it beautifully. It flew all the way down to Wallaby 22, but that's out, Joel.
That's out. No part of the foot on the line, definitely out. Great call from the touch judge and the referee, and Al Baxter had something to say about it too.
To Sterling Mortlock, Gitto, Mortlock playing it inside centre now. Good tackle by Sean Smith. Sheehan, Moore. Sheehan again, Gitto. And here's Ashley Cooper, swirls away. Good tackle by the Beast. I asked the Beast if they called him that. He said, not to me face, they don't. Now here's George Smith and gets away from du Plessis. Good tackle by Sean Smith. Great carry by George Smith. Sheehan digs, finds Gitto. Waits for Ben Johnson. Great work by Pierce Spies. Had I reckon his best test match this season, Pierce Spies. Now it's with Elsom. Tawiriera makes the tackle again. Good drive by the Wallabies. Sheehan. Oh, that's good reading of the play there. Gitto. Here comes the try. It's Drew
you, the catalyst and initially getting over the gain line. Moorcock did well, had very little opportunity, popped it out, as did Ghetto. Yeah, Mitchell, too much pace for the beast.
Work here for Ndungane. And that's not a bad hoist. The Springboks need to run back. Taken by Yashian. Good work by Janches. Had a very good game this afternoon. Janches. Baxter gets it away. Great hands by Ghetto. Now Ashley Cooper brought down by Johan Smith. Free kick South Africa. This could be good for the Springboks as they look to get those 40 points on the board. Matfield, Dupree eludes Sheehan. Now it's with Bismarck du Plessis. Lays it back for his brother. Good continuity by the du Plessis brothers. It's been knocked on now. Ghetto forced onto the right foot. Janches. Quite a bit of room to move. Berger with him. Now he finds Scott Berger. Beautiful take by Scott. Great tackle by Ghetto. Really good tackle by Matt Ghetto.
And in the tackles, Scott still managed to throw it back in field. It came off an Aussie leg and went into touch. Good play from Janches again, drawing in two defenders, freeing up Skulk on the outside. That's a great tackle. The handoff was pretty good, but not effective against a solid tackle. So it changes some more.
Well, changes are plenty as Gene Mum becomes the final replacement for the Wallabies. Luke Watson comes on, so too Ricky January. Haven't seen Adrian Strauss yet. No, Bismarck du Plessis still there. And Gene Mum on for Hugh McMiniman for the Wallabies. Good take by Matfield, January, Pienaar, Ruan Pienaar makes it a real drubbing and 40 points for the Springboks.
And boy, does he make it look easy sometimes. Ruan Pienaar not been on the field that long, kicked once or twice where he probably shouldn't have. When the ball did come in, the opportunity he needed was just a small half gap and through he glided. Odwin Ndungane has come off and Pierce Spiess has moved on to the wing. Montgomery's taken over the kicking, popped it over. 2 more points for Percy, taking his tally up to 891. There's this. Oh, what a great little step. Good finish. Great try, Ruan Pienaar.
He's got such long strides as Ruan Pienaar. See just a little shimmy to the right through Drew Mitchell, right off course, and strong enough to stay on his feet. January, Pienaar, Janches. Oh, and just tried to find Ndungane. I like the way Odwin Ndungane's looked for work today. He's set up John Genokwe's 4th try. He's really had a very good game today, Joel, I think.
He has. He's been absolutely superb. Unselfish at times. Passed the ball at the right time. Run a good line here. Just couldn't control it. The pass going downwards and onto his hip. But he has had a big game. Look for work, as you said. Showed some real good touches around their contact situations. Run 6. He's gained 64 metres. That's a lot of yardage to make in a game. I'd imagine he's made more than one tackle this afternoon, though. Sterling Mortlock's got a little bit of a gash on the eye there. It came at the last breakdown. Ricky January, I think. Something to do with it. Either when Mortlock cleaned out or...
Yeah, it's been a tough old afternoon for Sterling Mortlock. Quite often he does get the nick in the eye. He has a little package on him to Warera, Joel.
Yeah, great strength going forward, ball in hand. competed for the ball and had a big game.
So I'm just looking through the records, Joel. Yeah, this is the second most points we've ever scored against the Wallabies. Of course, 61 being the most. 46 points to 8. As the sands of time run out, it could be the biggest victory actually ever in terms of margin of points.
What's this here, Rob, please?
Gitto. Nearly charged down by Pienaar. Good cover by January. Tackle by Hall. Pick up by Berger. Now it's John de Villiers. Breaks away. Judges is there. Oh, beautiful running off the ball by Conrad Judges. Good cover back on. Well, great work by Yanni du Plessis there. Has it been stolen though? He had to release the ball. For Ricky January, Pienaar, Berger, Rousseau, Donny Rousseau, his first touch of the ball, and he gets it away fittingly to Ndingane, who gets his first international try.
And thoroughly deserving. He's had a wonderful game as Ndingane. Been absolutely superb. All over the park. Handling, running, tackling, collecting up and unders, chasing kicks, then rounds it off superbly. And Blades, the biggest SA winning margin before this game was 39. It's now exceeded the 40 points.
Monty just dabs it over the crossbar, and so South Africa go into the 50s.
Beautiful line from Donny Rousseau, great offload, and Ndingane is, as he's been all afternoon, running perfect support lines. 53 points to 8, drubbing.
Well, it's a Wallabies side that one has got to say looked like they had a week-long party down in Durban. The Springboks have reacted to it brilliantly. They've fought back. They've won back their pride. The Johannesburg crowd have loved every moment of it. Into Warera, Berger, de Villiers, Rousseau on his outside. De Villiers could go all the way here. Looks around, then he gets it away. Rousseau right up in support. So too Berger. Here goes to Warera. And Pienaar gets it from January. Watson up for Pienaar. And he stretches his legs again, and Ndingane couldn't hold on. This could be the ball game. It could be the end. There's joy for South Africa. Smiles for Brian Habana. The pressure, of course, is now off Peter de Villiers. The Wallabies are out on their feet.
And it looks like the final hooter has gone. The players are shaking hands. Ndingane couldn't hang on. Brian Habana celebrates, as do the Springboks and the whole of South Africa. Resounding victory. It's been a strong performance. The breakdown the key for South Africa. And at the end of the day, controlling the breakdown means controlling the ball. And if you control the ball, you score the tries. And South Africa have done it.
Well, there's elation, Joel, for the Springboks here. Pierce Spies, the whole lot of them have had terrific games today. But history has been made in two ways here today. First of all, Jonge Nokwe, 4 tries. He's the man of the match today for his 4 tries. The biggest victory margin ever for the Springboks over the Wallabies, as we say, cheers from Coca-Cola Park.
Welcome back to Prime Rugby. We've just seen the worst loss the Wallabies have ever suffered in Test rugby, going down to the box 53-8. Frank Bunce, I am astounded. And what on earth was happening with the Wallabies defence? They were just standing there.
Oh, towards the end of the game, it was under pressure the whole time, but towards the end of the game, they were pathetic. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know what. They didn't look organised, and far too often you saw big, the fatties, the tight forwards stuck in the back line and trying to defend against loose forwards, and then even worse, the Springbok backs. So, boy, some organisation.
Matt Dunning did look like a marshmallow with legs out there, I've got to say. The Springboks, though, a completely different performance from what we've seen this Tri Nations.
Yeah, exactly. Things worked for them, and I think must have been hard for them last week because they were poor last week, and they got booed, and that's got to hurt. Very, very proud rugby nation and rugby team. So it would have been a hard week for them, I think, and to build up into a performance like that, it was the least you'd expected from them, and they just obviously got their heads right, and things started working.
Now, Robbie Deans did pull Timana Tahu on the 52nd minute. Was he that bad?
Well, I wouldn't say he was bad. He wasn't doing a lot. He wasn't offering too much on attack. Not that many of them were, but I think he was a little bit out of place. Maybe he needs a little bit more time. It was a big ask for him. And, got beaten a couple of times on defence a little bit too easily and just looked a little bit out of place. But time will fix that.
And very strange to read on the internet today, conspiracy theory that the Wallabies threw this game to basically outfox the All Blacks for that Brisbane test. What's that? Do you think that's true? No, I can't believe that that any test playing nation, and Robbie Deans especially, I can't believe that anyone would go in and throw a game deliberately. And if the Wallabies had won this and won well, they'd take a lot of confidence out of it as well, and they'd put pressure on the All Blacks. So I can't believe that would happen. Yes, so a very strange game. Here's a recap of the score. 53-8, that 45-point difference surpassed Australia's previous worst losing margin of 39 points, also suffered at the hands of South Africa in 1997. The best thing perhaps about that result is that the Kiwis are still in top spot, but only by 1 point over the Wallabies. The Box still last, but at least they've got some pride back after the big win this morning. So coming up, the All Blacks play a test against Samoa on Wednesday night, 8:30 on Prime. Next weekend it's back to the Air New Zealand Cup, 2 full replays for you. Check your guides. And then it all comes down to this. 2 weekends away we'll show the All Blacks in Brisbane taking on the Wallabies in their own backyard. Either side can take the Tri-Nations, and if the ABs lose they'll have to play for the Bledisloe Cup in Hong Kong late October. So what do you think? Do you think that the Wallabies can bounce back from that?
I think they can. Whether they do or not is a different story, but they'll be hurting, and like the Springboks last week, they're going to spend 2 weeks of just doing hard work and preparing themselves, because they know it's all there for them to take. And, you're not going to see 2 poor performances like that in a row from the Wallabies. Do
you think Robbie Deans dumps a few of those guys? Does he make some changes?
I'd say he'd keep the squad, the general squad, whoever was injured. If they're available, they'll come back, the guys from last week. But they need to work on, obviously, organisation in their defensive line. Set piece, I don't know how many times they lost lineouts because of crooked throws, and so they've got a bit of work to do, but they can. They're a smart bunch. Robbie Dean's a canny coach, so they can certainly bounce back.
Okay, what about the All Blacks? Do you think Graham Henry will stick to a similar test team that he's lined up in the last test matches?
Yeah, I'd say. He seems to have gone away from what just annoyed the hell out of everyone last year with the rotation. He chops and changes just a little bit now. Picking and choosing as he needs to, and it's more often than not injury that dictates whether someone comes or goes. So I think he's going to stick to the guys who have been performing. The form has been good over the Tri-Nations, and when we see them, as we said before, in the NPC, in New Zealand Cup, I should say, their form has been good. So I think he's going to stick to proven again.
Okay, well, thank you very much,
Pleasure.
Frank, and thanks to you guys for watching today. We'll see you in a couple of weeks for the final Tri-Nations game. Enjoy the rest of your day.